So let's talk about the communication management plan. What is it, who it's useful for, and how you create one. So the communication management plan is your style or your approach to getting project information to all of your stakeholders. It determines the method of communication that you'll use, meaning, will we use snail mail, will we use technology, maybe we'll text you, we'll tweet you, and in that sense, we're either going to push, pull, or have an interactive form of communication. So if I push a message, I'm sending it out to someone individually or a specific group, right? It must be a specific recipient. If I set up a pull system, that means I'm going to put it on a SharePoint site or an intranet site, and then you must come and pull that information yourself. Okay? And if I have a very interactive form of communication, then we'll either have a face-to-face meeting, I'll get you on the horn, or we'll video chat. All right, so we'll talk about the methods of communication will be outlined in our communications management plan. All right, and then it'll talk about when our messages will be formal, when the messages will be informal, when they will be verbal, or when they'll be written. It'll talk about the cadence, what regularity will we send our messages out with. We'll have any what we call organizational process assets, the rules, the laws. Maybe we'll have a line at the bottom that says, this email is intended for the sole use of the intended recipient, yada, yada, yada. Or maybe you can't send an email with an attachment. You must send a link for people to go and log in and get the information. Your communications plan is going to outline all of that. You would have taken into account the stakeholders that you have, your plan for keeping them engaged. You would have taken into account the charter, what the goals of the project are, because sometimes that's also helpful in developing a plan and how we disseminate information to stakeholders. And you'll take that into account and you'll create one. Now, who's it useful for? It's going to be useful for your teammates, right? Because then they're going to understand, when do we have meetings? When do I get updates? When will we have a change board meeting? Like, what's the regularity? What's the format? Will it be video? Will it be in person? Will it be an email? You'll see all of that, and so it's going to be useful for the teammates. It's going to be useful for external stakeholders to understand when information is going to come in, and in what format, and what cadence. And how you create one, again, is you sort of you take all the stuff into account that we've discussed earlier. You look at the needs of the project, the needs of the stakeholders, in this case, your team members, and the sponsor. Those are the first two people that you think about, and then everybody else kind of comes second tier, and you develop all your intention, your approach. A document that's going to act as your guide. This communication management plan will act as your guide in how you're going to proceed as you move forward with your project.